got off to the big lead, 40-14. They came back. You had a block kick, block punt, block field goal there. You missed one there, and this obviously came down to the last possession there.
Yeah, they did a really good job. We certainly did not play what we would consider our best game, and I think some of that has to do with them. Obviously they made some plays that were big momentum plays in the game, so those were huge. They did a really, really good job of continuing to convert on crucial downs. We would have them in second and 7, 3rd and 8. It feels like we're about to get off the field, and then all of a sudden, they come up and they make a really good play and convert and just keep the chains alive. It feels like our defense was on the field the whole second half. And so just really proud of our players for finding a way to win a really tough game against a really tough opponent.
And then looking at going back to the way you guys started, what was the key just behind, getting off to the hot start that you guys
Well,
did?
I think a lot of it was they were misaligned early. And so I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, some of those plays that we were able to hit early, I think they made some adjustments, and kudos to them. But I think a lot of the stuff was misalignment by them, and then we got to a place where because the wind was so much of a factor, when we were going from south to north, so when we were driving the ball north into the wind, we attempted a couple of passes and they were just errant in the wind, and so that really kind of put the clamps on us and kind of messed with what we wanted to be able to do. But again, back to the fast start. Again, I think we made the plays, but I think a lot of it had to do with their misalignment early.
I know just defensively, Wyatt had a big part in that. How impressive, especially that first quarter for them.
Yeah, he was all over the field. So dynamic. He's played in 4 state title games. He played in one as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and now a senior. And so he's been, he's literally been on this field more than any other field besides his home field. And so he's been in this spot, and he's a guy that's going to rise to the occasion, one, because of who he is, but, you get a senior that has the character that he's got, and, kind of back him in a corner, so to speak, you're going to get a performance like he had tonight.
Kind of big picture, how cool of a day is this for Searcy, the Harding community?
Yeah, it's a lot better now because now I can actually enjoy the Bisons, right? Because I just laid around, excited for the Bisons earlier, but also laying around and, a pretty neurotic spiral of I got my own game, But now it makes it a lot more fun because I'll be able to go to Dallas next weekend and cheer them on for a national championship. And, we'll know that this game's behind me, which it'll make it enjoyable.
Yeah. I guess, how much of the game earlier today were you guys watching any of that, or you just?
Yeah, so what we did is we actually streamed the game in the auditorium of our school. Wyatt and Tanner, Paul's sons, were at the game. But the rest of us, just to try to keep it kind of low key and all that sort of stuff, we just streamed it in our school auditorium, and that was cool to be able to watch all that take place in that setting.
I was going to say, with Owen, you just talk about the performance, got the MVP trophy, you just talk about his performance?
Yeah, he was, he had some really, really tough conditions. One, they're a really good defense, and they did some really good things, especially after the first 2 drives. They did some adjustments with their secondary based on some formation things that really gave us trouble. Number 2, it's the fastest defense we have played. There's a lot of times where he got outside the pocket that a lot of other games he's turning the corner and he can't. He's a fast guy, and those guys can fly. And I think the third part is I think the wind played a factor. It picked up as the game went on, and I think he tried to throw a couple into the wind, and I think it gave him the yips because it didn't come out right. And I think that messed with him until we could get the ball, going back with our back at the wind,